You bastard. How could you do this to me, to our family? The words tear from my throat, raw and seething. Zach just stands there, arms crossed, his face an infuriating mask of indifference. Riley, let's be real here. Our marriage has been over for a long time. Amber actually appreciates me and my music. Appreciates you? I scoff. She's a child, Zach. She's young enough to be your daughter. She understands me, he insists, as if that justifies fathering a baby with his 28-year-old coworker. Rage boils in my veins. I've supported you for years, working my ass off so you could chase your stupid pipe dream of being a rock star. And this is how you repay me? My music is not stupid. Zach's nostrils flare. You've never believed in me, Riley. Not really. I believed in you enough to pay all the bills while you went gallivanting off to dive bars and open mic nights. My fists clench at my sides. I kept this family afloat while you played at being a musician. Played at? Screw you, Riley. Zach grabs his guitar case, his knuckles white. You're a workaholic who never made time for me or my gigs. At least Amber is always there for me. There for you, I repeat, incredulous, while you knock her up and abandon your wife and teenage son. Zach's eyes narrow. Don't bring Caleb into this. He's already in this, Zach. He's going to college next year. Or have you forgotten you have another child to think about? I'm done with this conversation. Zach storms toward the door. I'm moving in with Amber. You and Caleb will be just fine without me cramping your style. Don't you dare walk out that door, you son of a bitch. But even as I shout the words, I know it's futile. The door slams with a deafening finality. I sink to the floor, anger and anguish warring in my chest. 17 years of marriage, over in an instant. 17 years of sacrificing my own dreams to support an ungrateful man-child who threw it all away for a newer model. Caleb finds me there later, his young face etched with concern. Mom, what's wrong? Where's Dad? I swipe at my tears, forcing myself to be strong for my son. Your father left us, Caleb, for his pregnant girlfriend. Shock and hurt contort Caleb's features. What? How could he? Pulling him into a fierce hug, I vow, it's going to be okay, baby. You and me, we're going to get through this. We don't need him. But even as I speak the words, the bitter seed of vengeance takes root in my heart. Zach doesn't get to just walk away unscathed. I'll make sure he pays for shattering our family. One way or another, he'll regret ever crossing me. The days bleed together in a haze of anger and exhaustion. I throw myself into work, trying to ignore the gaping hole Zach left in our lives. But the memories ambush me at every turn. Late nights hunched over spreadsheets, my eyes gritty from staring at the computer screen. Zach bursting into my home office, his face flushed with excitement. Babe, you'll never guess what happened. I got a gig at the Viper Room. I'd mustered a tired smile. That's great, honey. When is it? Next Friday. You're coming, right? His eyes shone with hope. Guilt twisted my gut. I can't, Zach. I have a big presentation the next morning, but I'm sure you'll be amazing. His face fell. Right, of course. Work comes first. I reached for his hand. I'm sorry, But he pulled away, his voice bitter. Save it, Rye, I get it. You're busy being the breadwinner while I'm just the deadbeat chasing a dream. That's not what I meant. The door slammed behind him, cutting off my words. Now, staring at the empty space where his guitar used to lean against the wall, I wonder how many other moments I missed. Recitals, gigs, anniversaries. All sacrificed on the altar of my career. But damn it, I did what I had to do. I kept a roof over our heads and food on the table. What choice did I have with a husband more interested in partying than providing? A knock jolts me from my spiraling thoughts. Caleb pokes his head in, his eyes shadowed. Hey, Mom, I made dinner. Want to join me? My heart clenches. When did my baby boy grow up enough to take care of me? Sure, sweetie, I'll be right there. Over plates of spaghetti, Caleb clears his throat. Have you heard from Dad? I shake my head, stabbing at a meatball. Not a word. Apparently we're easy to forget. Caleb's jaw tightens. I don't get it. How could he just abandon us like this? For some chick he knocked up? I wish I knew. I sigh. But that's Zach for you. Always chasing the next shiny thing, damn the consequences. What are you going to do? The question hangs heavy in the air. What am I going to do? Let Zach skip off into the sunset with his new family while I pick up the pieces of the life he shattered? Hell no. I meet Caleb's gaze, a newfound resolve hardening my spine. I'm going to make him pay, Caleb. Your father doesn't get to just walk away from his responsibilities. Not this time. Caleb nods, a glimmer of satisfaction in his eyes. He deserves whatever's coming to him. Damn right he does. I reach across the table, squeezing my son's hand. But I need you to focus on school, okay? Let me handle your dad. I've got your back, Mom. Always. Emotion clogs my throat. I know you do, baby. We'll get through this together. That night, I lie awake, plotting my revenge. Zach thinks he can just discard us like yesterday's trash. He's got another thing coming. I'll hit him where it hurts the most. His wallet and his ego. I'll bleed him dry in the divorce, take every penny he has. I'll make sure the whole world knows what a pathetic excuse for a husband and father he is. By the time I'm done, Zach will be begging for mercy, but he'll get none from me. You wanted a divorce, Zach? You got it, along with a scorned wife's wrath. Game on, asshole. The day Zach moves out, I come home to find his key on the kitchen counter, a hastily scribbled note beside it. Staying with Amber, I'll get the rest of my stuff later. 11 words. That's all our marriage is reduced to in the end. I crumple the note in my fist, hot tears pricking my eyes. The house feels too quiet, too empty without the constant strum of Zach's guitar. Caleb walks in, his backpack slung over one shoulder. He takes one look at my face and sighs. He's really gone, isn't he? I nod, not trusting my voice. Screw him. Caleb's tone is hard, unforgiving. We don't need that loser. A choked laugh escapes my lips. When did you get so wise? He shrugs. Someone has to be the adult around here. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. My 17-year-old son, forced to grow up too fast because his father is a selfish prick. I pull Caleb into a hug, my voice fierce. I'm sorry, baby. I'm so sorry you have to deal with this. He hugs me back, his lanky frame dwarfing mine. It's not your fault, Mom. You didn't do anything wrong. But didn't I? Didn't I let Zach walk all over me for years, putting up with his broken promises and half-assed apologies? No more. It's time to take back control. The next day, I march into my boss's office and quit my job. Jan stares at me, her perfectly plucked eyebrows raised. Riley, are you sure about this? You're one of our top analysts. I nod, my chin high. I'm sure, Jan. It's time for a change. She purses her lips. Is this because of Zach? I heard about the divorce. Of course she did. Office gossip spreads faster than wildfire. It's because of me, I say firmly. I need to focus on what's important, and that's not slaving away at a job that barely leaves me time for my son. Jan's eyes soften. I understand. We'll miss you around here, Riley. I shake her hand, a weight lifting off my shoulders. Thank you for everything, Jan, but it's time I start putting myself first. That night, I break the news to Caleb over dinner. I quit my job today. His fork pauses halfway to his mouth. What, why? I take a deep breath. Because I'm starting my own business, a consulting firm based out of the house. Caleb's eyes widen. Whoa, that's huge, Mom. I know it's a risk, I admit, but I'm done playing it safe. I want to build something of my own, something I can be proud of. A slow grin spreads across Caleb's face. That's awesome. I'm proud of you, Mom. His words warm me from the inside out. Thanks, baby. It won't be easy, but we'll make it work. We always do. He raises his glass of water in a toast. To new beginnings. I clink my glass against his, a smile tugging at my lips. To new beginnings. As I lay in bed that night, staring at the empty space beside me, I feel a flicker of something I haven't felt in a long time. Hope. Zach may have shattered our family, but he doesn't get to destroy me. I'm Riley fucking Johnson. I'm a survivor, and I will rise from the ashes of this divorce, stronger than ever. Just watch me. 6 months later, I'm celebrating my first big client at a swanky downtown restaurant when I spot a familiar face across the room. Zach, looking haggard and disheveled, nursing a drink at the bar. I freeze, my champagne flute halfway to my lips. What the hell is he doing here? As if sensing my gaze, Zach looks up, his bloodshot eyes widening. He stumbles off his bar stool, weaving his way toward me. Riley. His voice is slurred, his breath reeking of whiskey. Fancy meeting you here. I set my glass down, my spine stiffening. What do you want, Zach? He collapses into the chair beside me, his head lolling back. She left me, Ree. Amber, she took the baby and split. A bitter laugh escapes my lips. Well, Karma's a bitch, isn't she? Zach's face crumples. I don't know what to do. I'm lost without her. Welcome to the club, I snap. You seem to have no problem leaving me and Caleb. He reaches for my hand, his fingers clammy. I made a mistake, Riley. I see that now. I never should have left you. I yank my hand away, disgust churning in my gut. You think you can just waltz back into our lives like nothing happened, like you didn't cheat on me and knock up some barely legal bimbo? Zach winces. I'm sorry, okay? I fucked up, but I'm still your husband. Doesn't that count for something? Ex-husband, I correct, my voice cold. Or did you forget I filed for divorce? His eyes widen. What? When? 2 months ago. I smile, sharp and brittle. You've been served, sweetheart. Check with your lawyer. Zach scrambles to his feet, swaying slightly. You can't do this, Riley. I won't sign the papers. I stand, grabbing my purse. You don't have a choice. I'm done being your doormat, Zach. I'm done letting you trample all over me and our son. Caleb needs his father. Zach's voice rises, drawing stares from nearby diners. Caleb needs a father who gives a damn about him, I hiss. Not some washed-up wannabe rock star who runs off the second some groupie bats her eyelashes. Zach recoils as if slapped. That's not fair. Life's not fair. I step around him, my heels clicking on the hardwood floor. You made your bed, Zach. Now lie in it. I walk out of the restaurant, my head held high, but inside I'm shaking. Seeing Zach again, so broken and pathetic, almost made me waver. Almost. I think of all the nights I cried myself to sleep wondering what I did wrong. All the soccer games and school plays Zach missed because he was too busy chasing his music. All the times I had to be both mother and father to Caleb because his dad was too selfish to step up. No more. I'm done being the victim of Zach's choices. It's time for him to face the consequences. That night I hugged Caleb extra tight before bed. I love you, kiddo. More than anything. He hugs me back, his chin resting on my shoulder. I love you too, Mom. Everything okay? I pull back, cupping his face in my hands. Everything's fine, baby. I just want you to know how proud I am of you. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. Caleb smiles, his eyes soft. Back at you, Mom. We make a pretty good team, huh? The best. I kiss his forehead. Get some sleep. Big day tomorrow. As I slip into bed, I stare at the divorce papers on my nightstand, Zach's unsigned line glaring at me. Soon, I think. Soon I'll be free of him forever. And then, the real fun begins. A week later, I'm elbow-deep in paperwork when the doorbell rings. I frown, glancing at the clock. Caleb's at basketball practice, and I'm not expecting any clients. I open the door to find Zach on my porch, a bouquet of wilted gas station flowers in his hand. Riley, please, just hear me out. I cross my arms, blocking the entrance. There's nothing to hear, Zach. We're done. He thrusts the flowers at me, his eyes pleading. I know I fucked up, okay? I know I hurt you and Caleb, but I'm begging you, give me another chance. I stare at him, incredulous. Another chance? Are you kidding me? You cheated on me, Zach. You got another woman pregnant. There's no coming back from that. Zach's shoulders slump. I made a mistake, Ree. A huge, stupid mistake. But I still love you. I always have. Funny way of showing it, I scoff. Where was that love when you were screwing your secretary? He flinches. I was weak. I was stupid. But I swear it meant nothing. Amber was just... If you say she was just a fling, I will punch you in the face, I growl. She was your girlfriend, Zach. The mother of your child. Zach's eyes fill with tears. I know, and I'm so sorry, Riley. I never meant to hurt you like this. Please, just... give me a chance to make it right. For a moment, I waver. A part of me, the part that remembers the good times, the laughter and the love, wants to believe him, wants to forgive him. But then I remember the pain, the betrayal, the nights I cried myself to sleep wondering what I did wrong, and I know I can never go back. No, I say, my voice steady. I gave you 17 years, Zach. 17 years of love and loyalty and support, and you threw it all away for a piece of ass. Zach opens his mouth to protest, but I hold up a hand. I'm done being your doormat. I'm done putting your needs before mine. I deserve better than a husband who runs off the second things get tough. Riley, please. Go home, Zach. I step back, my hand on the door. Go back to your parents, or your friends, or whoever will take you in. But don't come back here, we're finished. Zach stares at me, his face crumpling. For a second, I think he might argue, but then he nods, his shoulders sagging in defeat. I'm sorry, Riley, for everything. I watch him walk away, the flowers dangling limply from his hand. A part of me aches to call him back, to fall into his arms and pretend none of this ever happened. But I don't, I can't, because I'm not that woman anymore. I'm not the naive girl who believed in fairy tales and happily ever afters. I'm a survivor, a fighter, and I will not let Zach destroy me. That night, I sign the divorce papers with a steady hand. As I slide them into the envelope, I feel a weight lift off my shoulders. It's over. I'm free. And now the real work begins. I've built a life for myself, a business I can be proud of, a home for me and my son. But Zach, he's about to lose everything. And I'll be there to watch him fall. The divorce is finalized on a Tuesday. I sign the papers with a flourish, a grim satisfaction settling in my chest. It's done. Zach is officially out of my life. Or so I think. 2 days later, I'm at my desk when my phone buzzes with an unknown number. I frown, swiping to answer. Hello? Is this Riley Johnson? A woman's voice asks, tight with anger. Yes, who is this? Amber. Amber Davis, your husband's girlfriend. I sit up straight, my grip tightening on the phone. Ex-husband, and why the hell are you calling me? Amber lets out a harsh laugh. Because your ex is a psycho, that's why. He won't stop harassing me. I rub my forehead, a headache brewing. What do you mean, harassing you? He keeps showing up at my work, demanding to see the baby. He's drunk off his ass, screaming about how I ruined his life. I close my eyes, exhaling slowly. Damn it, Zach. I'm sorry he's bothering you, Amber. But I don't see how this is my problem. It's your problem because he's your husband, Amber snaps. You need to control him before he does something stupid. He's not my husband anymore, I remind her coldly. And I'm not his keeper. If he's harassing you, call the cops. Amber makes a frustrated noise. You think I haven't tried that? They won't do anything unless he actually hurts me or the baby, which he's going to, if someone doesn't stop him. I pinch the bridge of my nose, anger simmering in my veins. Even now, even after everything, Zach is still making my life hell. What do you want from me, Amber? I want you to talk to him, she says, her voice cracking. I want you to make him leave us alone. I can't keep living like this, always looking over my shoulder. A bitter laugh escapes my lips. Join the club, honey. You think you're the first woman he's terrorized? Amber is silent for a moment, then quietly, I'm sorry, Riley. I never meant for any of this to happen. I snort. Sure you didn't. You just accidentally fell on his dick, right? I loved him, Amber whispers. I thought he loved me too. Yeah, well, Zach's really good at making women believe that. I hear Amber take a shaky breath. Will you talk to him, please? For the baby's sake, if not for mine. I stare at the divorce papers on my desk, Zach's signature still fresh. I should tell her to go to hell. It's not my job to clean up his messes anymore. But then I think of the baby, that innocent little girl caught in the crossfire of her parents' mistakes, just like Caleb was. Fine, I say, the word bitter on my tongue. I'll talk to him, but after that we're done. No more phone calls, no more favors. Understand? I understand. Amber's voice is thick with relief. Thank you, Riley. I hang up without saying goodbye, my mind racing. I need to deal with Zach, once and for all. But this time, I'm not going to play nice. This time, I'm going to make him pay. I lean back in my chair, a slow smile spreading across my face. Oh, I'll talk to Zach all right, and by the time I'm done, he'll wish he never met me. I storm into Zach's apartment, the spare key he never bothered to take back clutched in my fist. He jerks up from the couch, his eyes bloodshot and bleary. Riley? What the hell? Sit down and shut up, I snap, slamming the door behind me. We need to talk. Zach sinks back onto the cushions, his face wary. If this is about the divorce settlement, it's not. I stand over him, my arms crossed. It's about you harassing Amber. His eyes widen. She called you? Damn right she did. Apparently you've been making quite the nuisance of yourself. Zach scowls. She won't let me see my daughter, Riley. What am I supposed to do? Oh, I don't know. Maybe not show up drunk at her work, screaming like a lunatic? He has the decency to look ashamed. I just want to be in my kid's life. Is that so wrong? I laugh, harsh and bitter. You didn't seem to care about being in Caleb's life. Why the sudden interest now? Zach flinches. That's different. Is it? I step closer, my voice low and dangerous. Because from where I'm standing, it looks like the same old shit. You being a selfish prick who only cares about himself. Zach surges to his feet, his face twisted with anger. You don't know anything about me and Amber. You have no right. I have every right, I shout. I'm the one who had to pick up the pieces when you walked out. I'm the one who had to explain to our son why his daddy wasn't coming home. Zach blanches. Riley. 17 years. Zach. 17 years of marriage, of love, of building a life together. And you threw it all away for what? A piece of ass and a baby you clearly don't give a damn about? That's not true, Zach protests weakly. I love my daughter. Bullshit. If you loved her, you'd be stepping up, not harassing her mother. You'd be getting your shit together, not wallowing in self-pity. Zach's shoulders slump. I don't know how, he whispers. I don't know how to do this without you. For a moment, I almost feel sorry for him. Almost. But then I remember the pain, the betrayal, the endless nights of crying myself to sleep, and my heart hardens. You should have thought of that before you stuck your dick in someone else. As Zach flinches like I've slapped him. I made a mistake, Riley. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't cut it anymore. I take a step back, my voice cold. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to leave Amber alone. No more phone calls, no more surprise visits. If you want to see your daughter, you go through the courts like a civilized human being. Zach opens his mouth to argue, but I hold up a hand. I'm not finished. You're also going to sign over full custody of Caleb to me. No visitation, no joint decisions. He's my son now. You can't do that, Zach sputters. He's my kid, too. He stopped being your kid the second you walked out on him. I pull a sheaf of papers from my bag, thrusting them at Zach. Sign them. Now. Zach stares at the papers, his face crumpling. Riley, please, don't do this. You broke our family. Now you have to live with the consequences. With shaking hands, Zach signs the papers. I snatch them back, a grim satisfaction settling in my chest. It's done. I've won. As I turn to leave, Zach calls out, his voice broken. I loved you, Riley. I still do. I pause at the door, looking back at him. The man I once loved, now a pathetic shell of himself. And I loved you, Zach, but sometimes love isn't enough. I walk out, my head held high. The old Riley, the one who believed in forever, is gone. In her place is a woman who knows her worth. A woman who will never again settle for less than she deserves. A woman who is finally free. The years pass in a blur of triumphs and challenges. My business thrives, my client list growing by the day. Caleb graduates high school, then college, his eyes bright with promise. We move out of the house Zach and I once shared into a sleek downtown apartment. A fresh start, unburdened by the weight of the past. I date here and there. Nothing serious, nothing that sticks. My heart, once so easily given, is now guarded, cautious. I'm not bitter. I'm not even angry anymore. I'm just content. Happy in my own company, in the life I've built for myself. Zach, on the other hand. I hear the rumors, whispers passed along by old friends and acquaintances. Zach, drunk and disorderly at a bar, ranting about the wife who ruined him. Zach, fired from yet another dead-end job, his music dreams long since faded. Zach, alone and miserable, his daughter a stranger to him. A part of me pities him, the man I once loved, reduced to this. But a larger part, the part that remembers the pain and the betrayal, thinks he got exactly what he deserved. You reap what you sow. And Zach planted a garden of misery. I see him only once at Caleb's wedding. He sits in the back row, his suit rumpled and his hair graying at the temples. He doesn't approach me, doesn't even meet my eyes. But as I watch my son exchange vows with the love of his life, I feel a flicker of gratitude, because without Zach's betrayal, without the fire that forged me, I wouldn't be the woman I am today. Strong, independent, unbreakable. The years keep turning, the seasons changing. I watch my grandchildren grow, my business expand, my life fill with love and laughter. And then one crisp autumn morning, I get the call. Zach is dead. A heart attack, alone in his shabby apartment. No one found him for days. I sit at my kitchen table, the phone pressed to my ear, and feel nothing. No grief, no anger, no regret, just a vague sense of sadness. For the man he could have been, for the life we could have shared. But that life, that man, they're long gone. Ghosts, faded by time and circumstance. I hang up the phone, my hand steady. I have a meeting to get to, a grandchild's birthday party to plan. The world keeps turning, even as Zach stops. I don't go to the funeral. There's no point, no closure to be found in a wooden box and a handful of dirt. Instead, I sit on my balcony, a glass of wine in hand, and watch the sun set over the city. The sky blazes orange and pink, the colors of a life well lived. I raise my glass, a silent toast to the man who broke my heart. The man who in the end gave me the greatest gift of all, the gift of myself, whole and undiminished. Goodbye, Zach, I whisper to the dying light, and thank you. I drain my glass, the wine sweet on my tongue. Tomorrow will bring new challenges, new joys, new sorrows, but tonight I am at peace, content in the knowledge that I not only survived, but thrived. Zach's story may have ended, but mine is just beginning.